Daily News. City limits success has led to some parking issues. Conn's Homeplus at the Sunset Mall is closing. And San Angelo Live's Joe Hyde and the Angry Cactus' Tim Condon get high in the live studio. I'm James Bellini, and this is Live. We'll get to the news in a minute, but first, the time is here to stock up and save on John Deere filters and packaged oil at the South Plains Implement Semi-Annual Sale. Now through August 31st, receive 12% off John Deere oil and filters. Some restrictions do apply, and visit their parts department for details. Located at US 67 North at Tractor Trail in San Angelo, or with 18 additional locations, there's a South Plains Implement near you. South Plains Implement, where farm meets family. Kicking off the news, City Limits, a local bar located at 4205 South Bryant Boulevard, is a music venue, restaurant, and, of course, a bar. The popularity of the location has led to some parking issues, which leads to towing. Signs have been posted as patrons have blocked the entrance to the apartments nearby, and cars have lined Ben Flickland Road all the way down to Stripes on the other side of American RV. City Limits and manager Reyes Menchaca have been proactive, though, in addressing the parking issue as they've leased several parking spots across South Bryant from City Limits for employees. Menchaca said the best way to enjoy City Limits is to Uber or Lyft on a crowded night like Friday or Saturday. And you can read the entire exclusive story on sanangelolive.com. Conn's Homeplus, currently located in Sunset Mall, is closing as the company filed for bankruptcy. The company, based out of the Woodlands, announced that they are shutting down 170 stores in 15 states, affecting 4,000 employees. The retailer has yet to set a date for the final closure of all their stores, but liquidation will continue, and Conn's will continue operating until their merchandise is all sold. If any customers have any questions, Conn's has asked you to contact their customer service at 800-511-5750. Have you downloaded the San Angelo Live mobile app yet? It's free and it's the best app in the business. Download it off the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to stay up to date with news in San Angelo. A San Angelo man is behind bars after threatening his nephew with a machete and a handgun. Macario Gomez, who was arrested on Saturday, August 10th for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. And according to court documents, Gomez and his nephew were involved in a verbal dispute when his nephew went to his apartment to get some of his personal items. Gomez answered the door with a .22 caliber revolver, and when the victim walked away, Gomez ended up grabbing a machete and swung it at him, hitting his bicycle. Gomez was booked in the Tommy County Jail and has a $35,000 bond. Into weather, the 100-degree days are here, and there's no break from them this week. It's going to be in the hundreds all week for the highs, and then throughout the week, the lows are going to be in the mid-70s. And it's also going to be mostly clear, as far as conditions go. Right now, though, it's 96 degrees with a high of 102, and the low tonight is 75. Tomorrow, the high will be 101, and we'll have a low close to 76. On Wednesday, the highs reach up into 102 and the low drops to 76. And then Thursday and Friday, the highs will be 103 and 104 respectively. Folks, it's going to be hot outside, so drink plenty of water. Make sure you have those cooling rags, cooling towels on you. Make sure your pets have access to water outside. And just bring them inside where the AC is. It's going to be way too hot to leave them outside. When we come back, Tim Condon and Joe Hyde talk about the new marijuana laws in Texas. And they make a special drink available at the Angry Cactus called Strawberry Bong Water. It's a mocktail with its pot-infused drink, and there is no alcohol in it. And then Ryan Chadwick and I talk about COVER1 sports. But first, a word from the Bass Bunch.
It's our giant tag sale.
Right now, during our giant tag hail sale, you can get a brand new 2024 Ford Bronco Sport for just $25,999.
Don't miss our giant tag sale only at Jim Bass Cars and Trucks, Houston, Hart, and Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
Hello, welcome back to the show. I'm Joe Hyde, publisher of San Angelo Live, and I have my favorite guest of all time on the San Angelo Live interview segment, Mr. Tim Condon, proprietor of the Angry Cactus downtown at the intersections of Chadbourne Street and Concho Street, right in the middle of town.
Downtown, yeah.
Downtown.
Absolutely.
All right, so you always bring something strange on my show. So what do we have today?
All right, so today we've got our new mocktail. It's a THC mocktail.
When you say THC, that means drugs, right?
It is a cannabis derivative, hemp derived
Devil's
THC
lettuce. Devil's
drink.
lettuce.
There's no alcohol in this drink, and we've been selling it at Angry Cactus. It is now legal in the state of Texas, thanks to one of the farm bills, and we can kind of go over that in a minute. But it's a really cool cocktail, and I'll kind of show you how.
So
we do it.
this is a drink that is made no alcohol in it, and it has the active ingredients of marijuana.
It does.
Okay.
So here we go. Ready?
All right.
So what we do is we start with a little bit of ice, and we're gonna put about an ounce of simple syrup. This is just sugar cane and water, and then we're gonna squeeze a lime in each one. I'm making two, one for me, one for you.
You're making me one?
Yep, exactly.
I don't know if I can do this. Is this legal?
Absolutely, it's legal.
Are you sure?
It is true.
We're gonna have Travis Griffith come on the show and come arrest you.
And so we're gonna go ahead and I got a little.
Okay, so for those who are listening to the podcast, we got 2 glasses of ice. He's putting in some strawberries. He squeezed in some lime, and then you had the
And then we're gonna muddle, and all we're gonna do is just kind of lightly mash those strawberries into the ice.
So the ice and water and sugar cane is turning pink, reddish pink.
And we don't want to mash them too much because you want to be able to, not have to get a bunch of clogs in your straw. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and just top a little bit more ice right up to the top here.
Okay, more ice out of another container into both glasses.
Refresh all the way to the top. We're gonna want to go all the way. Oop, that's a big one. All right. And then the beautiful part comes in. We're gonna go ahead and garnish it with a little bit of. We're not filling it up all the way because we've got our can that we're gonna top off here.
The can full of THC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're gonna stick a straw in. And then, oops, I'm sorry, Joe. There we go. All right, and then at the table, we go ahead and open one of these fancy.
So when you order this, they bring this out which is about half full with the garnishment, and then you actually pour this. Your wait staff pours the rest
right at the table like that.
And what is this can?
This is, and I'll let you have a can, and I'll go ahead and.
So it's kind of like a beer, huh?
Well, so there's no alcohol in it at all. It's a THC, and we can kind of talk about that in a second. I just kind of pour it right up. And then it's kind of one of those things where as you sit there at the table and have a little bit and drink a little bit, you can keep topping it off with the remainder of your can. And so this is called the Strawberry Bong Water. And it's it's a nice sweet, so I kind of recommend just kind of mix it in a little bit and then take a little sip. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
It's got a unique flavor. It's nice and sweet.
Wow, dude.
It's a good flavor, right?
Yeah,
like
well,
it's nice and fruity.
It's sugary.
The thing is there's no alcohol in it, and it's got 3 milligrams of THC.
All right. So explain
5 milligrams of THC.
So explain this 5 milligrams, because I know in California you get stuff with stronger.
Yeah, so in Texas, 5 milligrams per serving is what they have. And like in a state like California or something like that, you'd see typically like a 10 milligram dose for one serving.
So we're kind of like the 3-2 beer of cannabis drinks in Texas right now.
Exactly. And all of this is made here in Texas. So all of the hemp, and it was grown here in Texas. This is made out of Dripping Springs, this can, and it's got all of the verbiage and language that you need in order to sell, hemp-based.
And so this is what they call Delta 9?
It is. So it's not any sort, it's completely organic. It's not any sort of like Delta 8 that's been kind of genetically modified. This is the true, natural, organic, true form of THC.
So this is THC. It comes out of hemp plants. The Texas legislature passed the farm bill this year, a farm bill, not the farm bill. The farm bill is the one in D.C., but they passed a law right now that allows farmers who are growing hemp to harvest the THC from their hemp and to create these types of products. Like you also have gummies and
there's a variety of different products that are now legal to sell this type of THC.
So the Angry Cactus jumped in on the hemp trade.
Well, so part of why I was excited to do it is, I was in Minneapolis about a year ago, when they legalized that, and all of the restaurants already had like these kind of mocktails. And what's kind of cool and appealing about them, instead of having a drink that's kind of, you have 1 or 2 margaritas, you're kind of gonna feel a little bit, a little bit under the influence. This is something that's going to be a little lighter, and it takes a lot longer to kick in. So
how many of these do I have to drink to get a good buzz going?
Probably quite a few. It's only got 5 milligrams of THC, so it's not a very heavy.
So 10?
Probably. It depends on your, I would say, like your tolerance and.
Can you buy just the can?
You can. We are selling just the can.
Just the can. In fact, you probably have people coming off the streets buying the cans.
There's been a few, but we try to sell it this way because I think it's a nice creative way. It's a nice refreshing drink, especially for this time of year. It's got a good sweetness to it, but it's also got that unique kind of flavor of cannabis.
So does it cost about the same as, let's say, a tequila drink or a?
Yeah, it costs the same as our Bloody Mary.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like a really expensive drink either.
No.
I gotcha.
But it's kind of a cool little thing. It's a novelty, and I'm really glad that the state of Texas is allowing this now, so it's kind of cool.
Are you planning on any other types of drinks with this?
Not at the moment. We've just kind of done this one. I'm excited to kind of see how it goes. It's actually been selling very well. We've had it on the menu for a little over a month now, I think. And so it's been selling pretty well. A lot of people don't really know what it is, so that's kind of why we're starting to talk about it. And it's also one of those things where it's kind of cool to kind of get educated on kind of where it is, what it is, and so on.
So the people that are buying it right now are like, hey, dude, you got any of that? Got any of that marijuana drink?
No, that's not.
The Cheech and Chongs are coming by.
Yeah,
and so now we want the soccer moms.
Yeah, well, it's not something that's too overly powerful. It's a nice, light, refreshing drink, and
it's slightly carbonated.
Yeah,
right?
And if you taste it on its own, it kind of tastes like a seltzer.
All right, let's see.
It's got a very kind of just a neutral flavor, but you've kind of got that kind of that flavor that's very distinctive.
Right, and probably not very many calories either.
Yeah, there's not very many calories at all.
Yeah,
this will add a few because when we add the fruit and the sugar, but
yeah, the sugar is probably what kills it, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, this is really good, and it's hot outside. Yeah. This will probably also quench your thirst. So I don't know if THC is a diuretic or not, like coffee.
Yeah,
I don't know. We'll have to find out. But anyway. What other things how is the Abilene expansion going?
It is coming along. I've got a set of plans in my car, and they're full, and we're ready.
And where is this? Where is it going to be in Abilene?
Well, we're not officially. I have not officially bought the property
so
yet.
You don't
Hopefully,
want to say.
I'm trying to do that in the next, but it'll be on First and Oak. No, I have no problem.
Yeah.
First and Oak.
There's a restaurant there right now.
There is, and we're going to add on and build a lot on top, and
right.
It'll be fun.
Okay, so Angry Cactus is expanding. And also coming out with innovation in their bar, on their bar with the what's the name of this drink?
Strawberry Bong Water.
Strawberry Bong Water. Why'd you put bong in the name? You should have called it something like.
My one of my managers, Jason, when he said, I was like, oh, that's great, because I don't want to shy away from what it is from a cocktail,
right.
From an ideas perspective, right? I mean, it is THC. It is an interesting cocktail, and kind of the interesting part is, it's got all these particles, and you've got this big fat straw to kind of work through it. So it's, and then as you kind of drink it, you kind of just continue to top it off, and it kind of is the gift that keeps on giving.
Right. You hear a little fizz there for carbonation.
Nice and carbonation, and the lime really works well with the strawberries, and that's kind of what we're after.
All right.
That's the concept.
Strawberry Bong Water. It is available now at the Angry Cactus.
Yeah, can you believe it?
And also individual cans if you want to drink 4 of them.
Yeah, if you want to. Well, we do limit 2 per customer.
Okay, 2 per customer.
That is one thing to remember.
And that gets you to 10 grams or whatever.
10 milligrams,
10
which
milligrams.
would be a typical serving in, like, say, California.
Right. And Texas is among how many states that are now legalizing this?
I think we're at 36 right now
36.
that have fully legalized marijuana.
Yeah, so we're not fully legalized yet, but
no,
right
not
now,
the flower or anything, but in drink form it is.
Right, and gummies and stuff like that.
And gummies and those things.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm Joe Hyde with San Angelo Live. This is Tim Condon, the man from the Angry Cactus, also the chef. We have to say the chef.
The chef.
But before we go, how was the nude art show?
Oh, fantastic. If you missed it, we're going to probably do it every other year. So it's
every other year.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be something we do annually. But it was a fantastic turnout, and we had a great time.
And what's your next big event?
We'll probably do something in the fall.
Okay.
We're working on a few ideas. I think I'm either going to do the paella on the patio dinner or the cigar dinner again.
The paella is the best.
Yeah, I love the paella dinner.
Yeah.
We do that probably I'd say almost every year.
Yeah, you got to do the paella.
Yeah.
Might as well do both. Anyway, I'm Joe Hyde, San Angelo Live. This is Tim Condon with the Angry Cactus. And back to you guys.
It's hard to believe how reckless some people can be and how hard they fight against real victims. You need a partner who consistently beats the giants and who will never, ever flinch.
Welcome back, everybody. James Boleen here. We are talking Cover 1 today. We are a week into football practices. The pads have gone on. Before we get into it, though, my co-host, Ryan Chadwick. Chadwick, how are we doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. Got to spend a lot of time out at Angelo State today, finally covering the Rams, seeing them during their second week of training camp. And yeah, honestly, it was a great time. It was a little hot, but it was nice seeing all the pads on and guys just getting after it.
All right, yeah. What are we talking about, though? We're adding something new this year, right?
Yeah, so in the past, our Cover 1 show has mainly consisted of just high school football in the Concho Valley, but this year we are actually going to introduce a new segment to our Cover 1 show that's a pregame show that's going to be every Friday, and that's going to include some D2 college football in our homegrown boys for the Angelo State Rams as they compete this year, as they pursue another appearance at trying to get to a national championship.
Right. No, I mean, last year the Rams, well, they played pretty well last year, right?
Well, like 2 years ago, they were ranked number 1 in the season, number two throughout the season for most before they lost in that third round of the playoffs. Last year, they had a little bit tougher of a schedule. They scheduled the team that they lost in the playoffs to the previous year, Colorado School of Mines, during the regular season, lost by like 4 in that game, and it kind of derailed their season a little bit. Not to mention they had one of the LSC teams drop football, so they had 2 byes instead of 1. With that being said, 3 games wasn't good enough to make the playoffs, which is crazy to think about. You know what I mean? They were still ranked,
Right.
still ranked in the top 15. They didn't make the postseason, you know. But they still had a strong team last year. In my opinion, I think they have an even stronger team headed into this season. And Coach Gersh agrees, and I had the opportunity to talk with head coach Jeff Gersh after practice, and let's go ahead and hear what he had to say. All right, I'm here with head coach of the Angelo State Rams football team, Jeff Gersh. Coach, second week of training camp just started. You got a week under your belt, full contact now. Guys looking big and mean. Just give me your overall thoughts so far.
Well, it's been a great camp so far. You know, we talk about potential a lot in our camp, you know, in the off season, you know, what this team can be, and we're working towards that potential. You know, we're excited to be on the field. You know, that first week is always a lot of energy, especially day 1, day 2, day 3 is because you're in pads for the first time. You know, we're in that grind of it, right? We're in that second week and got guys back today after a day off. So just a great practice, you know, but we're excited about what we have in the program. We've done a really good job in continuing to develop our younger players, and we brought a few transfer guys in that have made a difference or making big impacts right now, you know, continuing to learn. So just overall very excited about the group we have, and the coaching staff we have has done a great job of getting these guys prepared and ready to go.
All right, and Coach, the skill positions look fast like they always do, but it looks like this year's strength is going to be on that offensive and defensive line. They look big, they look mean, and it looks like they're going to be able to push some guys around. Give me your overall thoughts on them.
Well, we've got great depth in the O-line and great depth in the D-line. That's something that we focused on in recruiting in the offseason. You mentioned the receivers as well. You know, a very fast group, a very experienced group. We brought a couple of additions in, you know, to match that and continue to build in that group. But O-line and D-line, man, it's exciting. You sit and watch what we're rolling in on the offensive line, you know, 2 deep and even 3 deep at times with our young guys. Exciting. And D-line as well. You know, we got a lot of returners in that part of that position on the defense. So a lot of guys there that got a bunch of reps last year, so they're continuing to develop. And then our younger guys have come up too. And again, the transfer world that we live in now. We brought a few of those guys into the D-line, so they've been great additions to what we're doing. So again, excited. If you build things through O-line and D-line, you got a chance to be good, because that's where game through one. So we're doing that here at Angelo State, and putting great athletes around it.
And Coach, when the season starts, you're basically going on a long road trip, and you're just going to stay gone for a while. Yeah. Talk about the challenges of playing in Kansas for 2 weeks in a row, and then coming back and having to face the triple option at home.
Yeah, there's no doubt. That first one's going to be a long road trip in the sense of driving up there. We'll make a 2-day trip on the way up, and obviously play the game and drive back. But the second one's a flight, so that helps out a little bit. We're flying to Emporia, so but you got to get the guys back on that following Saturday, because again, right around the corner, Lone Star Conference play starts up, and you start with a team like Eastern Mexico. And Coach Lee does such a great job there getting his guys ready to play. I say it every year. That team plays the hardest out of any team that we face, and they just do. That's what Coach Lee's about. So you got to have our guys healthy and ready to go to get back here. So that flight that second week is going to be great to get our guys back sooner, have an extra day in the training room to get ready to go. Same with practice.
All right, last thing here from me, Coach. Now, I know they're just preseason rankings, but it had to have given a little bit of extra motivation seeing that y'all coming at number 2, right? Because from what I see, this Rams team has the potential to make some noise.
Well, I think that you take a look at the Lone Star Conference, and from top to bottom, if you don't play well, you can lose. You can to anybody, and the team that won it last year was picked 7th last year. And that's kind of how that works. So I don't put too much into that part of it, but I think for sure our players look at that and see that and understand. 2 is not a bad number, but it's not 1. And at the end of the year, we want to be sitting at that 1 spot. So our guys are definitely they definitely saw that and are going to continue to work hard for it. But at the end of the day, we're more concerned about where that number is at the end of the season.
All right, again, this has been head coach of the Angelo State Rams, Coach Gersh. Thanks so much, and good luck this season.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming out.
Thanks again for taking the time, Coach Gersh. I know your schedule's super busy, especially right now. Got a chance to talk with him for about 15, 20 minutes after practice. Some of that was the interview. Some of that was us just talking good old football. But James, man, Coach Gersh seems confident in his offense and defense, but we talked a lot about the strength of his offensive and defensive line. It really seems like that's going to be the anchor for the Rams this year.
And we're not just going to have a coach interview, right? We're going to feature an ASU Ram or an Angelo State Ram, right?
Oh, yeah. So basically what we want this year, and I talked to Coach Gersh after practice today about it. I was like, Coach, we do press conferences with you every single week, and I know all y'all out there see those stories come out on San Angelo Live, but this season, I wanted to see if we could also feature one of the guys on the team each week, guys that really lead the team, some of the stat leaders, some of the most talented players, or some of the guys that just are the heart and soul of this team. And so we got our first Angelo State Ram player today, and this guy plays on the defensive line, real big guy. Going to be one of the interior run stoppers, Owen Sears. So let's go ahead and hear from our Angelo State athlete. Joining me now is Owen Seaver, junior defensive lineman for the Angelo State Rams. Owen, we're in the second week of training camp, man. I said it to Coach Gersh earlier. I'll say it to you now. The offensive defensive lines look big and mean for y'all this year. Just give me your overall thoughts on the camp so far and what you think about the guys you're playing with.
Man, it's been awesome. We're bringing back a lot of experience. We have a good mix of guys. With the new DC, Coach Sal's brought in a bunch of cool things, but we're keeping the same philosophy, same playbook, a lot of the same stuff. So it's been awesome. Obviously, it starts with the trenches, and I think that's what's going to lead our team this year with that offensive line and our really stout defensive line.
Now, of course, the Rams did get a new DC kind of this year, right? Coach returns. He was a coach under Gersh before when Gersh was the DC. Just talk about that transition and how easy it's been for y'all to just pick up what he has laying down.
Man, I think it was super smooth because Coach Salgado really knows our values. He's been here before. He got to bring that back, a lot of tradition and a lot of things we like to hold utmost importance. And it's been a little surreal because we were able to keep a lot of the same plays, a lot of the same philosophy, and a lot of the same technique. So it's been a smooth transition. I think we're picking up quick.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about you individually here real quick. You play on that D line. What's your more what do you think you're better at, rushing the passer or stuffing the run?
Man, I love stuff in the run, but there's nothing like getting a pretty solo sack, man. That's an adrenaline rush. So I like to be all over the place. I play interior, I play exterior, so I like things about both.
Now, the Angelo State defense has pretty much become a namestay on what can be used as a great recruiting tool, and what San Angelo has just kind of been known for. What's it feel like to be a part of what Coach Gersh is building here at Angelo State, knowing that y'all are going to be the toughest defense to play in the LSC every single year?
Man, it's awesome. I think we hold really high standards, and we hold standards for recruits coming in. We win a lot of games, and I think that's where we hold importance, and I think that's enough said.
And finally, man, just give a shout out to a couple of the guys that you feel believe deserve that recognition that the fans need to look out for this year.
Man, we have a couple young guys, but obviously brought back experience. Rasco at that linebacker position, Jordan McKinney at that safety is going to make big plays for us this year. And that offensive line is really coming into place, man. They're going to ball out this year.
All right, Owen. Well, thanks for giving me the time again. This has been Owen Seaver, defensive lineman for the Angelo State Rams. Week 2 of training camp ahead of the 2024-2025 season. Thanks again for taking the time, man. It was a great interview, and you seem like a great guy. But, James, how nice is it whenever you got a guy just constantly shouting out other guys that he plays with around him?
No, that's great. It shows leadership. It shows, hey, I'm going to take responsibility. That's one of the great things. It's one thing I love about football, man. You go out and you even go out to these high schools, you hear these kids, they always sit there and pump up their teammates all the time. And it's just a great thing to see and a great thing to hear. And, dude, we're already in it a week.
Dude, I know.
I mean, I'm excited for this year, man. I went to Brownwood this past weekend and talked to Sammy Burnett, and he seems excited. And that just expanding and talking to all these coaches, it's been a lot of fun. And the grind is on, though. I was at Erie County on Friday night. They did a Midnight Madness. It was a 2-hour practice at midnight, so it was 2 o'clock. Got home probably about 3 o'clock, after everything got settled out, and then I was up at 7 o'clock the next morning to go to Brownwood for a 10 o'clock, which actually started early. Practice started. There was an inter-squad scrimmage, and that was a hell of a day.
Yeah, needless to say out there, everybody, we're working too, right?
Grinding, man, grinding. But hey, also, there's some exciting news for COVER1 and South Plains Live. That's the new San Angelo Live for Lubbock. Shall why don't you go ahead and explain what credentials you got?
Oh, this year, South Plains Live and, by extension, San Angelo Live will be featuring all Texas Tech football home games. Finally got the clearance and the go-ahead to start covering some D1 football. And, man, you want to talk about an excited Red Raider. That's me.
No, dude, getting on the field at a Texas Tech game and getting some shots and just talking to those guys, that's big. That's a lot of good coverage. And us with COVER1, we're gonna have good coverage of all these high schools, so you can bet that we're gonna have good coverage of all these colleges.
Man, and I can tell you one thing that I'm most looking forward to on that. I don't exactly know how it's going to go yet. I might be up in the press box. I might be on the field. I might be a little bit of both. But if I am on the field, I am most looking forward to bringing all those video shots that you might have to wait a little bit towards after the game for, something that we can just put up immediately. But again, those Texas Tech Red Raiders under Coach McGuire, he enters year 3 this year. They are projected to finish kind of middle of the pack in that new 16-team Big 12. But personally, James, I think that the Red Raiders are kind of being slept on a little bit. I think that they return one of the best running backs in the nation, one of the best offensive lines in the nation, and Baron Morton, he's now going to be a junior this year. Assuming his first year as a full starter, of course he had to share time with Tyler Shuck last year, but if he can stay healthy, I think this Red Raiders team with a much improved defense over the last couple of years under Coach McGuire can really take a run at this. And now that Texas and Oklahoma have left, I do think the Red Raiders could become the team to beat in the new Big 12.
Who's that young receiver, true freshman receiver they're real high on up there? I've seen nothing. It's just been polluting I don't want to say polluting, but every time I go on X, it's always about this receiver.
So this is the Red Raiders' first ever in program history 5-star commit wide receiver, and it's going to be Micah Hudson. He's
Micah Hudson.
Yeah, he's about 6'3". He's got real good speed. I might be over exaggerating on his height a little bit. He might be about 6'1", but the point is he is fast and he can pretty much catch anything that's thrown out at him. Coach McGuire is huge on him. He said that at Big 12 Media Days. Every interview that when Micah's talked about at practice, Coach McGuire says he's just excited about it. And like I said, if we can keep Bear Morton healthy, then the Red Raiders have a chance to actually make some noise in the Big 12, even with the addition of Coach Prime in Colorado.
All right. But anyway, this has been Cover 1 for today. Chadwick, did you want to talk about anything else?
Man, I just want to give another shout out to Angelo State. Man, they were picked second to finish in the LSC this season, but I think that they're underrating them again. I know Central Washington is returning a bunch of guys, but the team picked 7th last year, won the whole thing, and that was UTPB. Let's just be glad that UTPB wasn't the one picked to win, right? Because them and Angelo State don't really like each other. But I think the Rams are going to bring a real dangerous offense to the table this season. They are going to be starting a new quarterback, but Coach Gersh said that this is the most dangerous group of receivers that he's had since he's been coach of the Rams. So look for Angelo State to make some noise.
Look for all the Angelo State coverage, Texas Tech coverage, and all the high school coverage from Concho Valley, South Plains, part of the Big Country, West Texas, the Heartland,
Permian Basin,
Basin, wherever. Yeah, wherever.
We're getting there.
We are gonna be there, and we're hitting it. We're already hit the ground running. So, anyway, this has been Cover 1. I'm your host James Bellini. For Ryan Chadwick, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Conno's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Conno's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Conno stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Conno's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Thanks for watching the Live Daily News Show, the only locally owned live news show in the Concho Valley. Go like us on Facebook, X, and other social media platforms, and download the San Angelo Live mobile app to stay up to date with news from in and around the Concho Valley. Thanks again, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.